Today we're going to be looking at drawing one of the Baroque windows. So I've got a number of different pictures here. Now I've printed mine out. If you can't print, that's absolutely fine. You can draw from your screen. That would be just as good, okay, as long as you've got a nice clear picture to work from. Okay, so the first thing is I want you to think about working really big. I don't want some tiny little drawing. If you've got plain paper, then please do it on plain paper. If you haven't, then you might even have something like some brown paper for wrapping, or something like that. If you have only got line paper, that's also fine. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at drawing this window here because I quite like the amount of detail on it. Now I'm not going to show you how to draw the whole thing, but I'm just going to show you how to get started and give you a few tips. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do a rough outline for the shape. Now I haven't got that bit right, so I'm just going to bring that down a bit more. Obviously you want it to be symmetrical, so I'm just going to do some rough lines to get my window where I want it. Now here that's got to go down there, so that means that needs to join up here. Okay, so I've got a rough outline, and then because I've pressed reasonably lightly, which I always encourage you to do, is to press lightly so you can rub out. It doesn't matter that my lines aren't the neatest at this moment. Okay, so then I can add, you'll notice that when I put the picture on here, the window goes down and there's like a little sort of step in here before it curves down again. So I'm just going to add that bit. So we're going to bring that bit in like that. It's going to go flat and then it's going to curve out again. Okay, so the same on the other side. So you want to make sure it's roughly the same level. So you're going to go in, curve, and then straight. And again, then we can rub out any of these other marks that you don't want. Okay, so I'm going to start by I'm going to just change the shape again. Actually, I just want that to be a bit rounder at the top. So I'm going to add in, excuse me, I've got it in half so it's a bit easier. I'm going to add in this first horizontal bar on the window. Okay, so one of the most important things, and people always forget when they're drawing windows, is that they have a thickness. Okay, and actually it's not just a single line. It's really important that you get the thickness of that into your drawing. Okay, so we're going to go down like that, down a little bit, and then across, and the same on the other side. So down to the same point, across. Oh, actually that's a square in there, sorry. I'm doing what I always tell you, not doing what I always tell you what to do, which is to look really carefully. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's not, I'm not too worried at the moment that it's not exactly precise. And then I'm going to come down here and add the thickness of the window frame in at the bottom. Now I'm also going to, that's probably a bit wide there, so I'm just going to make that a bit more narrow, and again rub out any of the detail. Now, so I've got a basic shape there for my window. Now what I want to do is add some of the pattern around the outside, and again all of this pattern, if you look at it, has all got a thickness. Okay, all of this ornate work around the side, it's all got a thickness. There's lots of dark and light shadows in that, so that's what I want you to focus on today. So if I start with the shape at the top, there's sort of a little shape like this, and it curves around. If I do that as sort of a curved line, kind of gives the impression that it does actually curve around. Okay, and then from there I want to again follow that line, and it gets a bit bigger and bolder as it comes on the outside of the building into the stonework. And again, then we want to follow that line down. Okay, now on this side there's a scroll here, and I'm not gonna show you how to do all of the whole drawing, but I'm just gonna show you here on this side. There's a scroll here, and there's a ball on the inside, and then it comes down here and comes around here. You want to try and make it look as fluid as possible. Okay, let me just move my, excuse me, let me just move this over. So on this side, there is then another scroll here. This kind of twirled sort of pattern that you can see just here. And this time it's a bit bigger. And it goes down like that and flicks out. In fact, we can probably make that a little bit bigger and then rub out the lines that I don't want. Okay, now once I've got that basic shape, what I can do, hold the picture up a bit more so I can actually see it properly, is I can look at the picture, and what I can then start to do is add the shading. So here I can add this shading, and all of a sudden, by really carefully looking at where's dark and light, we start to get the feeling that this part in the middle might be slightly higher than the other bits. So I'm just going to tidy up some of these lines. Okay, so that's a bit neater, as you can see. There we go. And then by bringing these lines, adding the shading, I just need to have some more shading down here on the actual building. This is where your illusionary is going to come in, because you're going to use your shading, not only the variety of shading, but also the direction of your shading to make it look like this part is higher than this part and this part is higher than this part. Now I'm going to just do a little bit more. So this comes around here, and then there's the most ornate part coming down here. Again, just rub out any of the lines you don't want. It's really important to press lightly so that you don't end up with things that you don't want. Now in here then becomes really dark. Around here is then slightly darker to give the feeling that that's at an angle. And you can see then how this picture is coming together. Okay, so what I really want you to work on then for this drawing is your observation skills. Okay, so it's observation, tonal range, and finally your direction of marks. Okay, so if I put that there, okay, so it's observation, tonal range, and the direction of your marks, and that's what I really want you to focus on today. Okay, so your whole drawing needs to have really good be a really good example of all of those things. Okay, when you finished it, if you send it to me on Satchel 1, I will get it back to you. Okay, well done.